Hello, this is
Hassan
Hassan
and
and
Naila.
Naila.
Hey, that clay couple.
Y'all go ahead, share, tag someone, but make sure that they are grown. And if the children are around, you might want to listen to the recording because we're going to talk some grown folk talk today. Assalamu alaikum, Fatima. Assalamu alaikum, Shakuru. You did a great job this weekend. Assalamu alaikum, Farnell. Glad to see you. Yes, it is going to be about sex. This is for the grown and sexy.
Sex.
Yes, sex. All right, so
it ain't gonna be like that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like that. But we are looking for sexual solutions,
right.
And everything that we're going to talk about, it is something that we have seen more than once, and it is directly related to someone that we work with. So we know that this stuff, it's
multiple people that we work with. Actually.
Right. So, but we're not just pulling this up out of the air, out of anywhere. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is, some of y'all, you're not going to like this one, but you're going to be okay. Because we're going to talk about the men who are not able to perform during sex. And to also be mindful that age doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yes.
Because we've seen men in their 30s who are not able. Early 30s.
Right, early 30s. Not nobody like in deep 30s or hitting 40. These guys, some of these guys have been in the early 30s.
And they are not able to perform sexually. And so, and let's be mindful that, a man, he can ejaculate.
Right.
But he may ejaculate too quickly, and he may not be able to keep an erection, but she can still get pregnant.
Right.
The reason why I say this, because this is what was happening. Right. The men think that because my wife got pregnant, that she's satisfied.
Right. She has some type of sexual satisfaction out of this whole ordeal, when in actuality,
she didn't. She got pregnant because you still released your seed to impregnate her. But the pregnancy and her pleasure, those are
two separate different things.
And
she might even be pissed.
She mad.
She mad because she done got pregnant and like, dang, what happened here?
Yeah, she mad because now I'm pregnant and I did not achieve a climax.
Right.
I mean, now you're going to have a wife who's frustrated because she wants sexual pleasure.
Right.
The next thing is do something about it, because this is the one thing that is tearing up the marriages. Is men, you won't do anything about it.
Well, and here's where we have to really understand it's not really anything that, in a sense, that may be caused by something that a man just did or whatever.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with him.
Right, but there may be some physical things going on. He might have some stresses that might
have some anxiety.
He may have some anxiety going on.
Might be a physical condition.
Exactly. He may have been hurt or something and has physical situations going on. It can be a countless many things, but I'm saying, just like we tell a person to go to the doctor and get a physical and tell somebody to go get a mental checkup, whatever the case may be, I am saying to all my brothers out there, look, get your urologist on speed dial, okay? Go get yourself checked out, because it doesn't hurt you at all to make sure that all your tools are functioning. All your tools are functioning. And that's going to be the best way of making sure that you are healthy, not only in your cardio, your heart, but also with your penis.
Well, he said it. We do not want marriages with penis poverty. That's what I call it, penis poverty. Because it does. It impacts her rights as a wife.
Right.
And she herself, she deserves pleasure just as much as he does.
Well, it's not even, I mean, that there too, but it also affects the man psychologically.
Well, that's true. And that's something that we do need to address, because some men will feel so defeated by the whole experience that going to the doctor and then having to talk about it, that's just a whole new level of issues. And we get it.
Well, not only that, not even just going to the doctor aspect, but just him dealing with his woman aspect. and he may not be able to sustain an erection, or he may ejaculate too quick, or whatever the case may be, then he still has to face his woman and her lack of satisfaction.
Okay, so that's a really big deal for you.
That's a big deal for me.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because hey, keep this thing real. A lot of times we put prowess in,
Yeah, y'all get attached to that appendage very early.
Yeah,
very early in life.
Yeah, we find out about that thing early. Hey, make sure your kids in bed. That's all I can tell you right now. But
it's time to get your children a snack.
Homework, school back in. Make sure they finish their homework.
The next thing is, don't blame each other. This is no one's fault. The blame comes in when you have this issue and you don't do anything about it.
Exactly.
That is it. And so, but I'm also going to say to the ladies, I know it can be frustrating if you have this issue and he won't do anything, but do know that the first, the second, the sixth, the seventh time this issue happens, he may not do anything right away. As Hassan was talking about, how it affects the man and his psyche, he's going to need more than a minute. Now, I don't know how many minutes, because the problem is that some of these couples we're talking about, they've been dealing with this for years.
For some years. Exactly.
And that's the problem. Now, that's not a minute. At that point, the problem has created another problem.
Exactly.
Because we're talking about couples where wives are literally wanting to tap out. I want a divorce. Not just because of this issue, but because this issue leads to other issues. Right. And so if you can eliminate it from the jump, go ahead.
Well, and again, that goes to the fact of men being able to have this serious level of conversation. I believe now, with the whole thing of like the Viagra's and the Cialis and all these other things out there now, men are beginning to have conversations. But I wanted to be understood that, although these medications are good, there are other things that you possibly can do to make sure that you can do something about it before you even get to that level.
Right, you can change your diet. There's some natural
exercising you can do. Just having that conversation with your doctor, and not just your primary caregiver, but someone who actually knows what the heck they're talking about in that specific area.
And not to, but what's that bully stuff they take?
The bedroom bully.
Yeah, bedroom bully, and not go to the Jamaican store and go get the bedroom bully. Cause some of you, that's your first option. The bedroom bully. No, I'm not gonna say don't do it.
Right.
It's one of the things out there, but don't let the bedroom bully be your first or only solution, because it is probably, if it is a fix, it's a temporary fix.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of those things that has shown to be more of an enhancement to those who don't have any type of struggles.
Right.
Versus someone who's
actually in the throes of some struggle.
Right. Now the next one, I'm gonna let you handle this one. The men.
What about
the older men?
What about? Oh, yeah. Okay, I was gonna say for sure. Look, bro, I know that little young girl, the little young lady, looking nice. You think she look good on your side?
She about 25.
She about 25. You about 40, 42.
You about 40. When she willing to marry an older man, she like a little sugar daddy.
Right. But look, at some point, she gonna be 35 and 40, and you gonna be 55 and 60. All right.
And she will very well at that point may come into her own sexual autonomy, her own level of sexual
expression,
comfort.
Exactly.
Right. And because you may be 60, 65, because I think that actual couple we're talking about, she was 35 and he was 60.
Mm-mm.
It was your old
She's like, yeah, she's like 32 and he's like 63. 64.
Okay, right, and that it was not a good match.
Right.
Now there was a time when
There's
it
it's
was
like 20-some year difference.
right. There was a
30
time
years
when
difference.
it was, but
Right.
at this point in their life, it's not. And while this couple, they had over a 20-year difference, we're still seeing the same thing with couples with 15 and 20-year differences.
Mm-hmm.
And just be mindful now when she's 40, you know,
and you're 60 and you're not really you haven't kept yourself up, or you've had those life challenges where you've had some health issues.
But and you may not be able to match
right
her. You may be able to perform, but you may not be able to match her sexual tenacity.
Mm-hmm.
And many of you won't agree, because when it comes to that particular appendage, most men won't. Every man thinks he is the man. I appreciate your ego.
Right.
Good job. But it ain't true.
You can't find me. You can't find me.
He said, can't find no part of me.
No, can't find no part of me.
I appreciate the ego, but it ain't true. Everyone does have some reduction in their ability to perform as they did 15, 20 years ago. And not just sexually, I mean mentally, physically, you know, it in all areas of your life, or one or more areas of your life. Mm-hmm. So I want you to think about this, because it has become a real marital issue between couples who have really big age differences.
Right.
And this is not just for the men. I'm going to tell you women. Mm-hmm. You know, I want you to be mindful. You know, you feeling a little cougarish in your spirit. Okay. Right. I see you. Same thing for you. Mm-hmm. You have to be mindful. At some point, you are going to get to menopause. At some point, you are not going to be able to have children. And he may be, you know, in the years where he's ready to be able to have children and can still parent. He's 35 years old, and you're 49, 50, thinking, no. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that. But you need to be mindful of these things. While when you marry, that difference, it may not seem so much
when you first get married.
Right.
As years go on, there's some things, there's some telling things that take place. And it's serious. Right.
And so you need to look at this as in reference to permanency. Mm-hmm. Because that is what it is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because for one, you know, I know I've heard some sisters and even some brothers say, you know, well, I'm at an age now, well, I want to travel and I want to do this and I want to do that. And we ain't even talking about sex at this point. We just talking about some other things outside the bedroom.
Right, women who have felt like I built my career, I have reached a certain level that I'm comfortable with, and I just want to enjoy the benefits of my work that I put in, and I'm really not trying to go to soccer practice.
You know, or I really just don't want to just go and hang out at the ice cream parlor.
Why are you talking about me? He's talking about me, y'all. Because this man, he did try to marry me, right? Okay, this is a perfect example. It has nothing to do with sex. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, even before I know what I know now, at that time I was in grad school to do the very thing that I do now, counseling. And I asked him, what would a Friday night look like? And at that time, me and my children, we spent a lot of time at the masjid. The masjid was a community center where I lived in North Carolina, and it still is, alhamdulillah. Mm-hmm. So he said, well, on a Friday night, we would go and we go to the masjid and we listen to the lecture, and I'm good, I'm okay. And we go to the drive-thru and get some ice cream and go home. And I thought, that is not the life I wanted. And I mean, at that time, you got to remember, I mean, we're talking 10, 11 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that now. And I surely didn't want it then. So for me, when I heard what life would look like in regard to entertainment, and there were some other things, but that for me, I'm good. You need to find you a sister who is right there where you are. And he was older than I was. I was okay with that. He was in good shape, but I could tell that his physical shape and his mental capacity, we want to match. We want in the same place.
He was selling it out. He was ready to just hit cruise control and go.
Oh, man.
You know, she's still trying to rev the engine up. And so, you know, it's like, but then be in a position to where now you have to try to perform. And then for some men, they mess around and get performance anxiety.
Well, that's true, because that happens with men, because they get so mentally messed up. I don't have another word for it right now. And then the performance anxiety comes in, and even if they could address it naturally or on their own with some type of homeopathic method, it doesn't work because of his own performance anxiety.
Exactly. You know, so he's already got a bunch of things going on here, which then he can be physically good, but
his mind is messed up.
So with that, we're talking about how do we stay healthy for good sexual relationships, sexual satisfaction for not only for the woman, but for the man, but not only for the man, for the woman. There are some things that we have to do, especially as we age. Women's things that you have to do, especially as you age, you know, because, hey, real talk, menopause is serious for some of us.
I haven't hit it.
Yeah, I mean, tell them all your business, but you know that's
I'm
serious.
still a young girl.
Anyway,
not really. Hassan, he started graying when he was in his 20s, so he really is nowhere near.
Actually, I grayed before I was in my 20s. To be honest.
Yeah, you had that spot.
I had a spot. Right.
Yeah, so people think he's much older than he is, and he's really not. I think we're 4 or 5 years apart. We're actually in the same peer group.
So she say. So she think.
We are. So that's a message to everyone who's inboxing and sending emails, because you believe that that's my daddy.
I might be daddy, but not like that.
It's time to go. You can always find us at www.thatclaycouple.com. Let us know what you think in the comments. I got to log off, y'all.
Sorry.